AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Cassie Spazzali.
Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Miusu. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. We're here, glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Joe Doyle in 30 minutes. Get some perspective, scouting perspective on Logan Schmidt, who picked the Tigers over the weekend. And we'll talk to Ross Jackson in 1 hour from right now. Get your Saints camp report. By the way, Ross's camp report's always up at louisianasports.net. Every day after every Saints practice, you can get them there in written form for free at louisianasports.net. Please check it out. Saints camp day 5 wrapped up on Monday, and no Ja'Lynn Polk because the Saints receiver retired very suddenly on Sunday. I was actually at my weekly mall walk with Drew, put him in a wagon. He loves to ride the elevators. We're rolling around, and then all of a sudden, boom, I get the notice that Ja'Lynn Polk retired. And it was especially surprising because he had gone through all the offseason. As a matter of fact, this was Kellen Moore in May talking about Ja'Lynn Polk participating.
Finally was on the field. It was fun. I feel like I've seen Ja'Lynn so much this whole past almost calendar year now. And so it was great to see him out there. I mean, obviously we thought really highly of him, being able to acquire him from New England. It's been a great exposure, and I'm excited for him.
So, Kellen Moore doesn't exactly exude emotion. We play a lot of Kellen Moore sound bites here. Dude typically don't say much. To hear him say it's exciting to see him out there, I believe him. That it's genuine that they were excited about Ja'Lynn Polk being out there. If you don't remember, I'll kind of give you the very quick catch-up on Ja'Lynn Polk. So Ja'Lynn Polk's a kid from Texas. He begins his college career at Texas Tech. He's there for 1 season, the COVID year. He transfers to Washington, spends 3 seasons at UW, and was on the team that played for the national championship. It was on the with Roma Dunze in that offense. Michael Penix, the whole deal. He goes into the draft, the 2024 draft, after the 23 season, and he's picked 37th overall by New England, and has a pretty horrendous rookie season. He catches 12 balls for 87 yards. This is a guy that was the 37th pick of the draft. Played in 15 games, started 7 times, but basically had 0 productivity in that offense. And it wasn't just the stats. Pro Football Focus, so in that season, the 2024 season, I went and looked this up today. So the 2024 season, Pro Football Focus gave a season-long grade to 223 wide receivers. Ja'Lynn Polk, the 37th pick in the draft in his rookie year, graded out 221st out of 223 receivers. There were only 2 receivers in the NFL that got a worse grade from PFF in 2024. So New England's whatever. So he has shoulder surgery in August. They trade him to the Saints. The Saints know, look, he's already had the surgery. They traded for him knowing that he's basically getting a redshirt year. But the Saints sent a 6th-round pick to New England for Polk and a 7. So if nothing works out with Polk, basically it was a pick swap. They got a 6, you got a 7. And maybe Polk works out. Like, y'all know I've lent my fair share of criticism to Mickey Loomis. This is one of those deals I don't hate. Like, it was a low risk, high potential reward. It didn't pay off for you, but I have no problem making the deal because it's a really talented guy that maybe fresh beginnings, new beginnings, fresh start, new scenery might have served him well. And it seemed like it was going that direction. But on Sunday, very suddenly, Ja'Lynn Polk announces he's retiring, something that Kellen Moore was asked about when he met with reporters on Monday.
Ja'Lynn Polk went to reserve, retired. He was good about the whole thing. As we had a lot of conversations. We went through this, just kind of something that he felt was right for him, personal thing. And so he was great. Communication, again, as always, was great. And so, we love that guy. And so we'll keep close with him still as he kind of goes through everything.
There's certainly more to this story. Because there's the news and then there's what's really going on. The news is that Ja'Lynn Polk retired. But when you look at a 24-year-old former second-round pick who the Saints traded for, effectively gave him a redshirt year, he went through the whole offseason program, man. He went through OTAs and minicamp and all of it, and now a week into training camp when he's finally back out on the field and a lot of excitement surrounding him, he just suddenly retires. Like something else is going on, and they tried to press Kellen Moore on that today.
I'll let him kind of handle that, but again, it was a personal decision, and Ja'Lynn had a great OTAs, great start to camp, and I think he just felt like this was the best decision for him on a personal level, and so love that guy. He did an awesome job through the entire process here, the year plus that we had him, and so we'll continue to support him and love him.
So not a year plus, by the way. I mean, it was late August last year when they traded for him, so it hasn't even been a calendar year since Ja'Lynn Polk showed up. But I will be interested if and when Ja'Lynn Polk decides to make that public for whatever reason he chose to retire. I'll be very curious to hear what he says because, candidly, that's a guy where I had a low expectation, but high hopes, and was really pulling for him. Just generally speaking in life, I don't like to see people struggle or fail. I believe life is abundant, and we can all have success, and we should pull for each other and lift each other up, and I think that's true in business and in life and everything. And so Ja'Lynn Polk, America loves a comeback story. I would have loved to have seen this for Ja'Lynn Polk, considering all the things we just talked about. And it felt like it was falling in line there. And for him to suddenly retire, we'll see now what that reason is. I was really hopeful that it would have worked out for him. But as I look at the receiver position in New Orleans now without Ja'Lynn Polk, the truth is it doesn't really hurt you because you didn't have anything. You can't lose something you never had. Like Ja'Lynn Polk was on the team a year ago, but was unavailable because of injury. So he spent the year on IR. And so it's not like you had this productive player that you were counting on, that you gave up a lot of assets and resources for to be a productive player on your team. Like it's the anti-Brian Brzee situation. Now, Brzee, thankfully, his career is not over, but losing Brzee is significant because that's an interior pass rusher, a guy that was a first-round pick. You have a lot invested in him. You picked up his fifth-year option for next year. He's a guy that was going to be part of your interior rotation. Has had a 7.5 sack season. You're really hoping he'd put it all together this year. So you have a lot invested in Brzee. And so for him not to be available, that's significant. Polk hadn't done anything. So you were hopeful, but not necessarily rightly optimistic. And so you look at the Saints receiving core now. I mean, Chris Olave is coming off a career year, had 1,100 yards. You just gave him the big contract. You drafted Jordan Tyson, 10th overall. There's grand expectations there. And already right there, just when you look at Olave Tyson, that's a better 1-2 than what you had for the second half of last year after you traded Rashid Shaheed. Vele was starting to produce for you until his injury, and then you were looking at Kevin Austin and Mason Tipton and Samari Toure and Ronnie Bell. I mean, it just... you have much greater expectations for Jordan Tyson. So Olave Tyson, 1-2, already gives you a better presence than you had a year ago. Devon Vele is there as your number 3. And then down the line, you're really hopeful about the rookies like Bryce Lance and Barry and Brown. That's 5 that are almost certainly locks to make the team. The question now with Polk's retirement is can someone move up a chair and make the team as a sixth receiver? Can a veteran like Austin or Mason Tipton make the team? Someone asked me today if I think the Saints would sign a receiver. I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to go hunting for a fifth or sixth wide receiver. Now, if you think Barry and Brown specifically helps you as a return specialist, then maybe that's your sixth, and you're looking for someone else who could be part of the rotation that might be better than Austin or Tipton or Ronnie Bell or one of those guys. But I think that remains to be seen and time will tell. And then you also have to remember, as far as pass catchers, you have Kamara and H.N., and you have Juwan Johnson, and you drafted Oscar Delp, and you signed Noah Fant. Like, there's no shortage of pass catchers. That was certainly a problem a year ago. It's not now, in theory anyway. So while it's disappointing Ja'Lynn Polk's retirement, really shouldn't have a massive effect or really any effect at all on this New Orleans Saints offense and what our projections are for it. All right, if we get any more info on Polk's retirement, we'll certainly pass it on. We're brought to you by Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com. Y'all, it's 94 degrees outside. Make sure you stay hydrated. Pick up delicious Evermore. So Saturday, we did Saturday night in New Orleans. Erica's birthday was Thursday, and her best friend's birthday is this Thursday. So we always do like a couples trip for their birthdays in New Orleans. And went to dinner, had a great time, great day. And as we were walking from dinner back to the hotel, I popped into one of those, it was one of those stores on Canal. You know, you can grab your huge ass beer, or you can grab your beads or whatever you want out of there. I got a 64-ounce Evermore. Because of course I do. You got to stay hydrated. EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com, evermore.com. Available at great local retailers, natural artesian water, a healthier product, a healthier alternative. Available at great local retailers with national distribution and online. 20, 32, and 64-ounce bottles available. Evermore.com, EVAMOR, evermore.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. We will knock out a quick break. I just dropped my pen. When we come back, we're going to get to Joe Doyle in 17 minutes. Excited to have Joe Doyle here to talk a little bit about Logan Schmidt showing up on LSU's campus. Ross Jackson at the top of hour 3. When we come back, we have new odds to make the college football playoff and to win the SEC. And I think this is an emerging market that I want to talk about. And we'll tell you what it says about LSU and the SEC and where they fall. We'll get to all that as we continue. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling, commercial or residential, think Darren James and get your home sold. Agent225.com, agent225.com. One more time, agent225.com. Darren James, Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. What did you just say? Top 1% of realtors in America. How do you end up as a top 20 realtor in the entire country in volume? Well, it's all about having the right people, the right processes, the systems in place, and delivering an exceptional customer service experience that gets results. That's Darren James. I've experienced it both as a buyer and a seller working with Darren. I guarantee you, work with Darren, you'll be thrilled. He guarantees it as well. 335-7666, 335-7666. One more time, 335-7666. That's Darren Sell or agent225.com, agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
If you need a metal building, you need Proform Steel. And it doesn't matter what size metal building, by the way. It could be a shed in your backyard, or we're talking about giant commercial industrial buildings. Proform Steel. So it's proformla.com. The easiest thing to do is go to the website, proformla.com, proformla.com. There's a request a quote tab at the top of the page. Click that. You will have someone call you same day. Like, someone will be in touch with you same day, guaranteed. It's metal buildings built right from design to delivery. Every single material, everything they use, all American made. Their lead times are quicker because they do everything in-house and can generally get to you a month to chew ahead of competitors, and free delivery on everything. You buy a metal building from Proform Steel, they will deliver it for free no matter the size. Proformla.com. Request a quote today, proformla.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Stay in the game with LouisianaSports.net. Text LSN to 225-499-1045 for breaking news, instant updates on LSU, the SEC, and everything happening across the world in sports. Also, check out the Our Partners page when you're at LouisianaSports.net and click and see the partners who support your favorite shows here on 104.5 ESPN Betters. You can learn more about them there, LouisianaSports.net.
So I don't love lists. You know that if you follow the show for any length of time. I don't like top 10 quarterbacks, bottom 10 that, top 10 rivalries, Mount Rushmore. I just think it's lazy summertime stuff. What I will pay attention to, however, is objective data. If you have some objective, analytical, algorithmic data behind this assertion, whatever it is, then I'm at least interested. Like I'll consider just to see what it says. And maybe some of that is helping fuel the sports betting market or whatever the case may be. So ESPN Analytics has their list of like your percentage odds of winning the national championship, right? And so based on a lot of, qualifiers throughout the 2 years of the 12-team playoffs, they looked at ESPN. ESPN looked at, Heather Dinich actually put this out, looked at ESPN Analytics, and there's 28 teams that have at least a 10% chance to reach the college football playoff. Now, one notable difference is that each of the Power Four conference champions is guaranteed a spot. So, like any team that has a shot of winning the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12, the ACC, you're a legit contender because you're going to be in. It's no longer, just because remember, a year ago, Duke won the ACC and did not make the playoff. That changes now with the way they changed the regulations. If you're a Power Four conference champion, you're automatically in. So in this scenario, a year ago, Duke would have been in. Well, you can't win the playoff if you don't get in the playoff. So that's why the sort of the barometer there was 28 teams, at least a 10% chance of winning the playoff. Texas actually has the best chance at 13.2% to win the national championship. Forgive me, I'm sorry. They have they just went through rankings here. But they have Texas with a 13% chance, Ohio State a 17% chance, Notre Dame a 10% chance. So you kind of understand, like the high water mark is there in that is 17 and below. Like Indiana's ranked 6th. They have a 6% chance of winning the national championship. For whatever it's worth, looking at the LSU resume here, they have LSU ranked preseason number 10 in the ESPN Analytics, and they give LSU a 39.7% chance of making the playoff and a 3.5% chance of winning the national title. So a 3.5% chance of winning the national title. But again, you can't win it if you're not in it. And so these ESPN Analytics gives LSU a 39, basically a 40% chance of winning it. But I like to compare that to like the other SEC schools, because if you assume, and again, you know what happens when you assume. If you assume 4 SEC teams get in, basically the question is, all right, is LSU among the top 4? Well, Texas is in there, as we mentioned. Georgia is in there. And then Ole Miss is ranked 8th, but has just a 22% chance of making the playoff according to ESPN Analytics. A&M, ranked one spot of LSU, is a 39% chance, 39.1, and LSU's at 39.7. So LSU actually has the 3rd best percentage odds of making the playoff, according to ESPN Analytics, behind just Texas and Georgia. So again, it's less, what's your opinion of a team, but what are the odds there? Actually, let me correct myself. ESPN Analytics has Alabama ranked 17th, but gives Bama a 41% chance of making the playoff, which is odd. So it's actually Bama, then LSU. But you have LSU in the top 4 with the best percentage odds of making the playoff. The other sort of market that is interesting is Poly Market, which is a prediction market where you can hold a position. Just think of it like, I guess would it be similar to Kalshi, like where you hold a position and you can like trade your position and odds can fluctuate. And it's a consumer driven market. There's no house, effectively, is how it works. And so it's just another way kind of to consider analytics and what things are saying. So with the percentage odds of winning the SEC, so Georgia has the best odds to win the league at 24%, followed by Texas at 23%. So I think it's so interesting because we could bemoan the way the media voted last week, and I get it, the media is never right. But the media, Vegas, prediction markets, they're all saying the same thing. And I think as we push off from the dock of the season, the thing that we probably can universally accept is true, number one, is that Texas has the most talented roster in the league. I didn't say the best. I didn't say most complete. I didn't say they're guaranteed to get in. What I said is Texas has the best roster. I think they have the most talent on their roster in the Southeastern Conference. And Georgia has the combination of best roster, easiest schedule, which is why everyone is just sort of assuming Georgia's going to be in the SEC championship game and by extension in the college football playoff. And so after Texas, Georgia, it's like, all right, well, who's next? Well, the prediction markets have Bama 3 and LSU 4, same as the ESPN analytics. Now, the interesting thing is that they have LSU 4th at 9%, actually tied with A&M at 9%. So it kind of feels, and then Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and then the rest after that. So you're kind of getting a little bit of a sense of where all of these things fall. But the other part of it that's fascinating, that's to win the SEC. But if you look at the national championship odds, Polymarket has Ohio State at 12%. I know this is a lot of numbers, but Ohio State and Notre Dame are both tied at 12% with the best chance of winning the championship. Georgia's next at 11%, then Oregon at 10%, Miami, Indiana at 8%, then LSU, 5% chance with the 8th best odds, and actually third among SEC schools behind only Texas and Georgia. So I guess my point is, if you're bullish on LSU to make the postseason, to be one of the 4 best teams in the SEC, there's a lot of objective data that is supporting that idea. It's why I like talking about this sort of stuff. It's not just what did media member X project, or who does Nick Saban think is going to make the playoff? I mean, certainly he's Nick Saban, and that's all, but everyone has an inherent bias. Data isn't bias; it's just objective numbers. So I try to look through it and say, okay, what is this? What are the consistencies we start to see in objective data from the odds makers to the prediction markets to ESPN analytics and other algorithmic data? Are there consistencies? And what you're starting to see consistently, Texas, Georgia's everybody's 1-2, but LSU generally in all of these is still in the top 4, which would lead you to believe LSU, if they're top 4 in the SEC, very likely would make the college football playoff. Now, you can't win the championship if you're not in. Seems like, man, if you're holding a ticket on LSU to get into the 12-team playoff, it might be a pretty intriguing bet with good odds right now. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gents, if you're thinking of popping the question, Lee Michaels, they've helped Louisianians get engaged now for 40 years. Thrill her with a gift in the red box. Maybe you've been there, done that. Maybe you got an anniversary coming up. Maybe you're celebrating a birthday. Maybe it's a graduation, a promotion, some other significant life event. Lee Michaels would love to help you celebrate. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Or ladies, maybe you're buying for the man in your life. They have beautiful watches, other timepieces, elegant pens, so many great options. You can shop them online at lmfj.com, lmfj.com, with 9 locations, 2 in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport. They're near you. They have a great selection. If they don't have what you want, they'll find it. They can't find it, they'll make it. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here about halfway home on this Monday edition of AFR. The football Tigers report for camp tomorrow in about 90 minutes from right now. The meeting at the governor's mansion with the governor, LSU President Wade Roos, and the top 40 donors who were invited to that meeting. That's happening at 6 o'clock tonight at the governor's mansion. So we'll have some, I'm certain, something come out about that after the meeting tonight or certainly tomorrow. We'll see if we can find out more for you. But a pretty significant day. But we will step aside briefly. And when we come back, Joe Doyle is going to jump aboard with us. Great baseball scout and analyst. And I want to get his perspective on Logan Schmidt's decision to show up on campus at LSU, but also what LSU is getting in that prospect. So we'll talk about it next. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Men, if you want to feel your best, our friends over at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help. Yes, ED treatments is part of what they do. And they got a plethora of different treatments, not just the little blue pill. They got all different types of stuff. But it's so much more than just ED treatments. Hormone replacement therapy, I love that the stigma around HRT is gone. Like, men are openly talking about it, which is a great thing. Listen, every single one of us, as we age, no one is exempt. Every one of us, as we age, our body produces less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. A simple blood test. I mean, just like a vial of blood sent off to the lab. They'll run your labs, and they'll let you know if you're a candidate for HRT. I say this often because it's so true. I know I lived it. So often you don't know how bad you feel until you start feeling good again. So start feeling good again. Take back control. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help. Lowest prices, never any contracts. YourGoodwood.com. They got peptide therapy too. YourGoodwood.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
It's August 3rd, and we're talking SEC baseball, LSU baseball. That would tell you the significance of what happened over the weekend with Logan Schmidt announcing that he will, in fact, show up on campus and spend 3 years in Baton Rouge. We'll get some perspective, some national perspective. Joe Doyle, our buddy from Overslot Baseball, is good enough to join us here for a couple of minutes. Hey, Joe, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
What's up, guys? Good to talk again.
It's always our pleasure. Give me some sense of where you fall on level of surprise with Logan Schmidt deciding he's going to spend, if I can go back to draft day, right, to now, Logan Schmidt spending 3 years on LSU's campus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty surprised. Usually you don't see a team select a guy in the second round and not know what his number is going to be to sign him. And the whole thing just smells a little funky from a national perspective. I don't know. The Guardians knew, they had to have known that they were going to come in far, far under what Logan Schmidt was expecting to make and to sign for in that draft. And there was some strange happenings that happened surrounding Logan Schmidt and some uncertainty over the last 3 or 4 weeks leading up to the draft that kind of made his signing demands in question, and nobody really knew what was going to happen. But I can tell you one thing: $1.7 million was never going to get it done. So for him to be at LSU, for him not to be a Cleveland Guardian, certainly surprising, and for him not to be a professional baseball player at this stage is remarkably surprising. When you said
Something was a little funky, like, what do you think? Do you think something was sort of nefarious? Like, what do you think there? What are you thinking?
I think it's one of those things, and I don't have this on any sources or anything, but the 2027 draft looks as though it's going to be stronger than the 2026 draft was. And if you're the Cleveland Guardians and you can go to Logan Schmidt and his representation and you can offer him 75% of the slot at pick 59 and he turns it down, you are going to receive the number 60 pick in the 2027 draft. And so I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's the mechanism of the draft. And maybe the Guardians wanted to stack some chips for 2027 for next year. So I've talked to a couple of people. I've talked to multiple people. There was not conversations that had taken place, at least in earnest, between Cleveland and Logan Schmidt leading up to that pick. His number had not come down anywhere close to 1.7 million leading up to that selection. And so either the Guardians attempted to force Logan Schmidt to say no, which he ended up doing, or perhaps there was something nefarious here where Cleveland was looking to the future.
Well, it's to LSU's great benefit. As best you know or have heard, what were those conversations like with Jay Johnson and Logan Schmidt, or have you heard? How seriously did he consider JUCO and jumping back in the draft next year?
No, I mean, he certainly kicked the tires on the JUCO thing. This isn't to say that Logan didn't want to go to Baton Rouge, didn't want to go to LSU, because I think he really, really wants to be there. I think he's really looking forward to being a Tiger and competing at the highest level. But I also know Logan. I know the people that he surrounds himself with. I know his expectations of himself. I know the reasons why he reclassified from 27 into 26 in the first place. This is a guy that wants to play professional baseball. He wants to take his game to the highest level. And so, you look at the 2027 draft, you look that it's a little bit stronger than 2026. You look at the fact that I think Jacob Misiorowski is the only guy, and we're talking about a Cy Young candidate there, is the only guy to get close to $2 million out of the JUCO ranks. I just think the avenue toward Logan Schmidt getting the number that he wants after just 1 year in junior college was a pretty narrow one. And so the decision to go to LSU, elevate his profile, prove it in the SEC, I think it was a slam dunk. It was the thing that he needed to do, and I'm glad he did it.
Well, let's talk about the prospect. Joe Doyle is with us at Joe Doyle MILB, overslotbaseball.com, overslotbaseball.com. So, what type of prospect are the Tigers getting? Give us the thumbnail report there.
Yeah, I mean, he's SEC ready. He's big kid, 6'4", I want to say, 220 pounds. He's built for long innings. He's built for, the SEC and the demands of pitching in big spots. He's a strike thrower, which I think cannot be said enough. You see a lot of these big arms that make it to the SEC or make it to the ACC, and everyone talks about, it's 96, 97, and big breaking ball, and sometimes they don't throw strikes. I mean, you look at how long it's taken William Schmidt to arrive into Baton Rouge and to polish up his game and become the starting pitcher that he is. It's not automatic. I don't think you're going to see that transition period with Logan Schmidt. 4 pitches, fastball up to 98. He'll live 94 to 96. There's carry on it. There's some late hop. Changeup is really good. I think it's his best secondary. Curveball and slider have come a long way since 2025. Now they're both probably average offerings. They'll flash a little bit better than that at times. So I think you're talking about a guy that is big, is left-handed, has 4 pitches, is going to throw strikes, has big velocity, and that's certainly worth something in the SEC. I would be surprised if Logan Schmidt isn't an immediate candidate to start midweeks for the Tigers right out of the gate.
What about improvement? Where would you say short and long term he needs to improve the most?
Yeah, short term, if he's going to get, Friday night outs in a consistent way, is going to be the breaking ball. He's got to throw a firmer breaking ball with sharper break. He's got to improve his execution of that, both against right-handers to the back foot and against left-handers sweeping it away to the glove side. Right now, he is primarily going to find his success with fastball, curveball, changeup, and kind of keeping folks off balance. I think if he can develop, an 85 to 87 mile an hour slider, cutter, maybe an 89 mile an hour cutter that can kind of keep left-handers off the barrel, I think that's kind of his next step. That's going to be where he can take his game to the next level. So I've seen some dialogue online, people asking whether or not Schmidt is a bigger get than William Schmidt was back in 2025. I personally think William Schmidt had bigger pure stuff at the time that he arrived on campus. But if you're looking for polish and you're looking for left-handedness, which is really difficult to find, Logan Schmidt checks those boxes.
I had one scout tell me that, like, at its best case, this is like David Price showing up to Vanderbilt for 3 years. If I asked you ceiling, what does that look like over the next 3 years?
In terms of his ceiling, I don't see the David Price archetype as much, just because Logan Schmidt is pretty physically mature at this point. He doesn't have a lot of growing to do in front of him, right? Like, this is a kid that's 94 to 96, touching 98. You don't look at Logan Schmidt and go, he's going to sit 96 to 99 and be holding 100, right? What you see is what you get with Logan Schmidt. He's tried and true. He's ready to rock and roll. I think as it stands right now, if you remember, John Lester in the big leagues was just such a polished left-handed pitcher that could throw 4 pitches for strikes. He could sneak it by guys with fastball velocity, even though the shape wasn't dynamic. Like, that's more of the type of pitcher that I think Logan Schmidt's going to be. He's not going to bully guys as much as, David Price did, pitching in on their knuckles and just intimidating folks. Price also had some angles to him and some deception to him. I think Schmidt is a little bit more, here it is, try and hit it, and then I'm going to, make you look stupid with the changeup and flip over a curveball to put you away. So, it's kind of hard to compare him to John Lester, in that Lester pitched for 15 years and won, World Series MVP awards and everything. But you remember Lester as not being the guy that was super overpowering, but just really a craftsman. And I think that's kind of what Logan Schmidt could become.
Can Schmidt throw the ball to first base?
Schmidt can throw the ball to first base. Yeah, he's going to be able to hold runners. And that's another nice thing, man. Like, having a left-handed pitcher in your rotation in the SEC is just so important. You see what Cade Anderson did for LSU for 2 years. Guys weren't running on Cade Anderson, and I don't think guys are going to run on Logan Schmidt either.
For those that don't get the joke, John Lester had like a mental block late in his career where he struggled to make the throw to first base. Man, there's a lot of people here that are really excited about the Logan Schmidt news, and we'll get a look at him when he's here for fall ball. Joe Doyle, at Joe Doyle MILB is where you can follow him on X, at Joe Doyle MILB. Make sure you check out overslotbaseball.com. Check out the pod as well. Hey, man, we appreciate it. Thanks so much for making some time as always.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
Yep, it's our pleasure. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Hancock Whitney. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. Honest to goodness, when I was just in the break there, I was looking through messages, and I got one from a listener who said, Matt, can you share the link for Hancock Whitney, the offer you were sharing last week on radio? He's like, I searched Hancock/Matt, couldn't find anywhere close to what you were talking about. Okay, because it's HancockWhitney.com/Matt. So make sure you spell it all the way out. Thank you for the clarification, so I can make sure I'm very, very direct there. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. That's the custom URL they gave us, HancockWhitney.com/Matt. And you can get up to $600 right now after opening a freestyle checking and freestyle savings account and meeting certain requirements when you go to HancockWhitney.com/Matt. Now, minimum deposit, account opening balance, and other requirements apply. So learn more at HancockWhitney.com, member FDIC. I have to say that to make it legal. But again, you can get up to $600 in your account for opening up open up freestyle checking, freestyle savings at HancockWhitney.com/Matt. They're my bank. They have been forever. I got my own Saints debit card. You want a Saints or LSU debit card, you can get it from Hancock Whitney, the official banking partner of the New Orleans Saints, the official banking partner of the LSU Tigers. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks to Joe Doyle for spending a couple of minutes with us. We appreciate that. Ross Jackson will be here in 17 minutes, top of the hour. As long as the Saints are in training camp, when they're on the field, Ross will jump aboard with us, kind of give us a Saints training camp report. If you want to get the written version, you can get it for free over at LouisianaSports.net. Let me knock out a quick break. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros when we come back. Interesting here at the MLB trade deadline. There's already been 3 former Tigers who have moved here approaching the deadline. We'll get to all that as we continue. And more quarterback talk as we approach 6 o'clock. So stay with us here on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Seagoneer Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local and shop local when you get by and see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. I get asked all the time by people who have a pool or live near water, and they're like, man, I hear you talk about the mosquito thing all the time. What is it? Well, it's called the Aeon Mosquito Barrier. Even if you literally just go to Clegg's and say, what's the mosquito thing that Moscona talks about? Like, they will know. It's easy. It's 2 tubes the size of a track baton. You take the top off. It's got granules in there. You just fill it with water to the fill line, shake it up, put the top back on, hang it on your property line. You're done with mosquitoes for 90 days at a time. They got them at Clegg's Nursery. Also, I mean, beautiful flowers like these lantanas are amazing. You can check these out over at Clegg's Nursery. They just have such an amazing selection of beautiful flowers and plants and trees and shrubs. You know what to do. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery. Need dinner tonight? How about Amigo Al's? Of course, from Brandon and Mackenzie Landry, who bring you Supper Club, where I'll actually be going to Supper Club tonight for that whiskey tasting event. But Amigo Al's on Highway 30 in St. Gabriel. So it's Nicholson. If you're going south on Nicholson, you pass U Club, quarter mile on the left. You can't miss it. Just look for the yellow truck. Amigo Al's, awesome. By the way, and it's sort of like, it's elevated, but it's friendly. Like, if you want to go in work boots or after a ball game, you could do that. You You want to go on a date night? Awesome as well. They also have the third-party delivery, so Uber Eats, DoorDash, all that stuff. If you don't want to get to Amigo Al's but have it delivered to you, you can do it. Go to any of those apps and you can get it. But if you go in, ask for the key lime pie. It's off menu. If you know, you know. But they do not have it every day. But when you go to Amigo Al's, ask for the key lime pie. Just trust me, Amigo Al's.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And we do shutters too.
So we went to, told you we went to New Orleans this weekend. We did every year for Erica's birthday. She and her best friend are born a week apart. So we just do a couples trip, the four of us. We spend the day in New Orleans. We do lunch. By the way, big shout out to Mr. Scott Craig, longtime listener of the show. He owns Katie's in Mid-City, which if you're familiar, if you're not, you need to go find. It's my first time going. I've talked to Scott for years, but we'd never met. I got to meet Saturday at Katie's, which was awesome. And Katie's is a great spot right there in Mid-City. Great food. My goodness. Had some piece of redfish with some crab meat on top. It was, oh, my God. It was amazing. But anyway, they also have like oysters Schlesinger, named after former UNO basketball coach Mark Schlesinger. He kind of told me the stories. Like they were eating char grills one day, and Schlesh was like, this needs some type of like creamy sauce on top. So Scott went and made some thing, put it on. He goes, yeah, it needs bacon too. And so, so if you get oysters Schlesinger, that's the story. They're amazing. Get them. But anyway, so we went to Katie's. And then we sort of bar hopped a little bit, which, of course, that's what you're going to do in New Orleans.
I was about to say, you didn't really go to New Orleans if you didn't bar hop.
It was a beautiful day. We went to Chandelier Bar and went to the Carousel Bar and we hung out. Then we went to dinner, went to Commander's, had an awesome time. But by the time dinner was over, it had been a long day, if you know what I mean. So it's a true story about me getting the Evermore. Actually, I didn't get it. Danae, our friend, went into one of the stores on Canal, popped in, and they were going. I don't know what they were going to get. But I was like, give me a water. And so they came out with a 64-ounce Evermore. Well, Bill sent me a text and said, OMG, if you had to get a big bottle of water of any kind, much less Evermore, to stay hydrated after eating dinner, there's something wrong with you, perhaps psychologically. This says Bill is 77 years old. Bill, my guess is 77, you lived a long life. Congrats on that. That's amazing. But my guess is, Bill, you've probably had a day like I had on Saturday when you need a big bottle of water, fam. The most important thing to do, though, remember, is to stay hydrated. Just mix them in throughout the day, right? That's probably the best way to go about doing it. But sometimes, as they say, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. We had a great time, though. And shout out to Scott Craig over at Katie's. Y'all if you go to Katie's in Mid-City, pop in, ask for Scott, tell him Scone sent you in. They'll take great care of you. Great spot. We appreciate the hospitality this weekend. All right, Musso, Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Heavy LSU flavor to the MLB trade deadline here this year. We'll go back pre-deadline over the weekend. The Cubs acquired Kevin Gausman from the Toronto Blue Jays. Gausman brings to the Cubs a 4.3 ERA and a 5-10 record. But, I mean, he was the opening day starter for Toronto. It's a big starting pitching piece for the Cubs that they just picked up. And Gausman is going to a team with playoff aspirations this season. Continuing with the Blue Jays acquired former LSU infielder Josh Smith in a trade with the Texas Rangers. Smith, they can have him for a while here. Potentially, Smith holds just under $1 million in salary through 2026 and then 2 more arbitration years through 2028 for the Blue Jays as well. So he could get pretty comfortable up there in Toronto. And then, of course, the most recent one, Anthony Ianson was the linchpin, the centerpiece of the deal that sent Adley Rutschman from Baltimore to the Red Sox. So Ianson, now a member of the Baltimore Orioles, 4-0, 1.32 ERA in AA so far this year. He struck out 94 in 68 in the third inning. It's a big get there for the Orioles. Grant Taylor threw an inning and 2/3 shutout ball for the White Sox in their win yesterday over the Rays. Punched out one, didn't walk anybody as well. He's been fantastic so far this season. Man, it was really rough outing for Gage Jump yesterday. 6 earned and 3 2/3 with 6 walks. Took the loss, his 7th of the season, but brighter days are ahead. Tommy White wore the collar in that one. How about Jake Brown? First professional hit over the weekend, man, for Jake Brown. It was a single. He went 1 for 3 in the ballgame, scored a run, drew a walk, also punched out. He is with the Inland Empire 66ers, single A affiliate of the Seattle Mariners. But he's on the board, 333 average there for Brown.
Let's go.
Really nice hit, too, man. Opposite way to, a pull side, just dropped right in front of the center fielder and left. Oh, man.
Muse.
He dropped it right in front of the center fielder in right center field.
Take a breath.
That was
Take a breath. Don't talk. Take a breath. Clear the mechanism. Brain before mouth.
Yeah.
Speak.
It was a beautiful hit. Single, pull side, dropped it right in front of the center fielder in the right center field gap.
Beautifully done. There it is.
Really nice swing. Really nice swing for Jake Brown, man.
But it's 453, which actually explains a lot, if you know what I mean. About now, right? Am I right?
Over the weekend.
Am I right?
Over the weekend? No.
Panama Red.
Over the weekend, Bear Jones, 2-homer day as well. How about that?
Puffing the magic.
He's up to 14 homers so far this season in high A Greensboro Grasshoppers.
Just Denny who's puffing the Magic Dragon.
Nah. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Arco Power Systems. A-R-C-C-O. Hey, wait, Cassie, you have to do this. It's a rule. Ready? A-R-C-C-O, 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 and Arco is their name. Oh, nobody over there has commented yet.
It's doing its job. That's why. People are calling Arco.
I'm just waiting to get a call. Like, hey, man, we appreciate the enthusiasm. We love working with you. The little song, though, has got to stop. It's going to come eventually.
It's so memorable.
It really is. Turns out I am pretty good after doing roughly 10 million live reads in my life and knowing what might stick. Anyway, Arco Power Systems, they're awesome. Local company, but they service the entire Gulf South. This is Generac Industrial Generator Power. You need a standby generator for your business? That's Arco. Arco.com, Arco.com. Everything's turnkey. Sell, service, install, rent your Generac Industrial generator. Arco.com, Arco.com. A-R-C-C-O, Arco.com. Okay, y'all. Quick break. Get you caught up on national headlines with Sports Center, which is right around the bend. Then Ross Jackson's here to give you a Saints camp report from day 5 and an updated point spread value for college football quarterbacks. You'll hear it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen Airline, just north of Highland, southpointvw.com. SouthPointVW.com, new and certified pre-owned. That's what you'll find over at South Point Volkswagen. And every vehicle, remember, if it's on the lot, it's online at South Point Volkswagen, which means you go to the website, you can hit the new or used tab at the top, see the drop down, and then you could search whatever, year, make, model, body, style, price, search it all right there. If it's on the lot, it's online. You can also work out your financing online. The average car buyer visits 1.2 dealerships now before making a purchase. You know, it used to be where you'd go and you drive around and you test drive and you'd haggle and you do 5 different dealerships. Not anymore, because everybody shops online and then you go buy your car. You go pick up your car. So shop them online at southpointvw.com and go see my friends at South Point Volkswagen. They're great at buying atmosphere. They got a great friendly staff and the best selection. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?